Thank you to our premier partner, Pinata. Pinata makes it simple to store and retrieve media on IPFS and build social applications with Farcaster. Visit pinata.cloud for all the power tools for IPFS and Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Monday, and it's quite a Monday, June 10th, and you're here with Nash Prof and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And yeah, we've already had some technical issues this morning. I've had to restart my computer. It's been a day.
We're 9 minutes late.
We're 9 minutes late. It's just, yeah, it's going to be one of those kinds of days. I was logged in to Unlonely and now I'm logged out. I don't know what's going on. Like, how did that happen? I was just logged in a second ago. So yeah, so we're gonna have that kind of day, but that's all right. That's okay. We're gonna make it through. And Adrienne, how are you this morning? Better than me.
It really is a Monday. What a nice weekend though. Can we go back to the weekend?
Did you have a lovely weekend? You had like the interns had
weekend.
proms and stuff, and all kinds of fun things were happening. So that was cool.
The GM Farcaster interns are living their best life right now. They are post senior prom. They're at the beach for the weekend. They graduate this week. They mentally have not been dedicated to GM Farcaster. We're a little disappointed, but I understand it. But they said officially their intern is done, but they said they want to continue because they enjoy it so much. So hopefully we'll squeeze out a little more from them.
And speaking of, we do have another intern who's in our chat. So hi, Elliot. Good to see you this morning. And he's been working on some short clips. So you're going to start seeing those roll out onto Dracula and the timeline on Warpcast. So good morning, everybody. And so Adrienne's going to be driving the car today. So Adrienne, what do we got first?
Wait,
I'll pop it up there.
Didn't we just say it's Monday? And
give us a read, will you?
Dan kicks us off this morning with an update for channel mods. And didn't we say this a few weeks ago when changes came? It's like, don't get settled because changes will keep coming.
Yeah, exactly. Like don't get so upset about changes because they're going to change again anyway.
Exactly. So 3 days ago, Dan with an update for the channel mods. If you have moderation on and you turned off the recent feed, we now show you the recent feed as a mod only feed, similar to unfiltered. This is in priority mode. We renamed unfiltered to all. Makes it easier to quickly scan for people you follow, plus power badge, and then all casts as mod. So in the screenshot, so this is only for the moderators will see this, not everyone, but it's the main feed, recent feed, all feed. And I think that should be helpful.
I think it'll be helpful for sure. And I'm still tweaking. I still have to tweak a couple of my moderated channels. Still haven't got them quite right. So it's not, yeah, there's a little bit of friction, a little bit of learning here. So glad to see some adjustment to try to make it a little bit easier. But I think we're still going to take a little time here.
Yeah, he says this can be used alongside AirStack or AutoMod since you can set a rule for anything liked by you to be liked by the channel bot.
Yeah, exactly. So that moves it. And the liking is what moves it from recent or all to main. So that's part of that process.
And I think the big change was the recent all kind of unfiltered feed was previously visible to everyone.
Right. So just the all is mods, and the recent is mod as well. Yeah.
It's really interesting to see kind of do people want to see all spam? Do you want to? I call it spam because
not everyone thinks it is spam. Yep, I know. I get it. And it's the whole shadow banning thing. And I get it. So people want to be seen and they want to make sure they're seen. And I get that part of it. But there's things that like I do not want as part of our channel. And it's hard you have to be able to curate that out. Just because it doesn't fit, it doesn't make sense, whatever it is. So
I'm sympathetic. My favorite analogy is the email because you know people will get very upset that, it's like it goes one way or the other. People are going to yell at Warpcast if they don't handle the spam. It's like, oh, you're overrun with spam and bots. But if they do handle it and they accidentally have a false negative, false positive, whatever, where they hide maybe someone who shouldn't have been hidden, or, then it's outrage because we don't have freedom of speech. So
Exactly.
it's a lose-lose if you're Dan. So that sucks. But
so I think we'll keep seeing iterations because it's going to take a little bit to get it right, for sure. Same thing with the timeline and all the changes that they're, applying to the home feed and trying to get that algorithm correct with the, machine learning and AI stuff. So yeah. All right, moving on.
Where to next?
Just keep going go in order of the way they were, I guess, is the way we're going to run today. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Bear with her.
So I'm going to be, for those that don't know, I am driving the links, but I have not actually curated them or prepped. So here we go. It's like I feel like I'm picking in a hat. Okay. Macedo at Macedo has a build announcement number 3 from the 170,000 participants. 100,000 made at least one nomination and 88.5 thousand addresses are eligible to claim build next week. But for me, the most incredible stat is that more than 15 projects built on top of build during the 20 days of airdrop 1.
That's exciting.
So these are all the builder nominations.
So that was an incredible experiment, and I'm curious to see what they do next. But that was the nominate 3 builders each day. Shout out Toady Hawk, who was consistent and did it every single day. I slacked off. I was really good at the beginning, and then I kind of slacked off, which I think was the case with a lot of people. But it was really nice to see nominations come in. I really appreciated it, and I know others appreciated it as well. So it'll be cool to see what happens next with build. Enjoy also
you.
And you too.
You got a lot. Yeah, but you got a lot of nominations. I was so happy to see.
It was nice. It was very nice. Enjoy ended yesterday too. I don't think we have a cast for this, but the first airdrop that they're doing, and they're calling it a season as well, it just ended yesterday, the first tipping experiment of that, and the airdrop I think is happening this week sometime. But I had at the end
is that the Zora Enjoy?
Exactly. Enjoy that you would tip on Zora itself as you were minting as part of a comment. So at the last week, I had over 12 million Enjoy to give away. It was crazy because they kept maxing out, they kept doing multipliers and things for you to be able to give more away. And I was number 3 on the leaderboard. So I had an insane, the only 2 people who had more Enjoy to tip than me were Oxen and Jacob from Zora.
That's incredible.
I was but it's almost it feels like a lot of pressure. It was a lot of Enjoy to tip out. I'm like, oh my God, this is too much. So I tipped a lot of millions on people. So yeah.
You made people enjoy millionaires.
I made them enjoy millionaires in one shot because it was I can't keep going. I love this from Galazio. This is another Galazio's Kitchen.
Shout out Galazio Kitchen, episode 4. So Galazio's doing the first Farcaster native cooking show. Get on that. Episode 4, lemon chicken. The last episode from our temporary London kitchen, a citrusy and bold chicken dish with couscous and crispy mushrooms. The first 25 seconds, unfortunately, turned out grainy. Stephanie, we feel you because it's the story of our life. But afterwards, returned to normal quality. Apologies and love.
I love that she's doing this. As we mentioned before, the 3rd episode of GM Farcaster included Stephanie making some granola, but it did not come out well. So it never saw the light of day, but I'm excited that she's finally doing this consistently. It's amazing. Fantastic. Yes. What else we got?
Right, we got Toady Hawk. Creators are builders.
Cool.
Art contest. Submit a piece of art in any style inspired by the build community and Yellow Collective using the prompt creators are builders. 100 million build split amongst winners. Deadline June 17th.
So that's really fun. And that deadline's coming up. So you've got 1 week to add on to this. Really fun. What else we got, Adrienne? Let me know
Oh,
when we
this
get
was
to.
just like a lovely thread by Nerdy.
It was really interesting.
What's
Yeah,
the most unbelievably true story about yourself? I survived being attacked by an elephant as a preschooler. Within a year, the same elephant killed its trainer at the zoo. Okay, that's actually tragic.
that's very
But
tragic. A
if you
lot of
read
these
through this
stories
thread,
were really interesting. Yeah, they're very
you
interesting.
can't tell which are fiction. Like, are they all real? But there were some people have some kind of drama in their lives and like real stories. So, oh, our friend Chicago got hit by a city bus.
Oh my goodness.
Biking. I'm sorry, I didn't actually read that one, but I saw this and I
I'm
was like,
sorry,
oh,
Chicago.
so there's just still some really good threads on conversations and conversational
I think
liquidity.
we haven't really talked about lounge. And I don't think we pulled a link for that. We should have. But that was pause that one because I'll come back. I'm gonna bring us back to
Okay.
us. I'll come back to
All
that
right.
video
Go
because I'll
ahead.
show that one. So we haven't really talked about lounge and what Cameron's been doing with his questions. He was doing a question every day, and they were really like a lot more thought provoking and interesting. So I loved that he was doing that. So I don't know if what were your thoughts on that? We should have pulled a question up. Have you been answering them? Have you been diving in? They've been like founder focused pretty much.
Founder focused prompts, and people are I actually pulled something on it, some meta from here. If I go back, where's the Mark Fishman casted
Oh,
seeing
right.
more quote cast meta recently. Not sure if it's the Warpcast algo though. So the lounge questions, copy pasta chains. So I think it's probably net good for newbies to have these types of memes to grab onto. But we haven't, the lounge experiment that Cameron's been doing has been super cool to see. I've answered some in replies, but I love seeing it on the feed. It is interesting.
Yeah, it definitely makes for better conversation. And I've found some really interesting points that I thought stood out. And I think that's kind of where this came from. This was, sort of not directly, but some of this related to actually Cameron did a question the day after regarding this. This was from let's see if we've got it here. Yeah, let me pull it into this one. This was from a clip from Brian Armstrong and Jesse having a conversation on base builds. Their his like live stream that he does. And I thought this was interesting discussion. Let me see if I can get the audio to work really quick. Hold on. Come on. We're trying. Told you we're having technical issues.
Didn't work, and maybe they have some
Hopefully you
kind
can
of
hear
like
that.
co-founder fight amongst themselves, and they just kind of blow up on the starting line. And from my point of view, like nothing ever works with that approach. Like almost nothing works the first time you put it out. Like that's incredibly rare. Coinbase certainly didn't work the first thing I put out. It's basically you just have to put out a really embarrassing V1, ship something that is not really ready. If you're not embarrassed by it, you waited too long. A lot of people just never ship because they can't get over the hurdle of putting out something they're a little embarrassed by. And then once you have your V1 out, nobody cares. Post it on Farcaster or whatever. Get 10 people to go look at it. You then kind of have to just go through this loop of like talk to customers, improve the product, talk to customers, improve the product, and then just do that for like 2, 3, 4, 10 years, whatever. And eventually something might break through. And that is the game of entrepreneurship. You don't really know if it's going to work or not. You have to be willing to step into the unknown. And people who persist and try enough ideas eventually get something to work. And 99% of people give up or they never start in the first place. And so that's how you do it.
So this led to Dan, and we haven't had this in a while. It was a Dan and and Johnny battle, if you will. So what do you think? We've talked about this before. So here was my take on this whole back and forth between do you ship and iterate and ship fast, or do you build it to perfection before you release it? Or at least build it to where you feel it's not embarrassing. So this whole, it's fine to throw something that's embarrassing out. And I, of course, went back to like my favorite AMA with Gary Tan and the shitty version. Do the shitty version, do it consistently, iterate. And for content creators, I think that is key, because you can get paralyzed by trying to make it perfect, especially with editing, especially with everything. And if you do that, you probably will never even start, because you'll get so locked in that, like, I need to perfect it before I can even put it out in the world. And I see a lot of
And you're
people do that.
measuring to one person's definition of perfection.
Exactly. Yeah.
You'll never get there.
Never get there. So Johnny and Dan had some things to say about this. So why don't you pull those up? We always lost them from the stage.
No,
there we
we're
go.
back.
There we're back.
Very
so
timely roaring kitty meme.
Yeah.
Nonlinear, build something great, shipped it, and talked to customers.
So we've got a little roaring kitty meme on this one. If you hadn't seen the roaring kitty fun last week, it was quite fun. And there was a few other takes on this where Nonlinear is really saying, like, he's looking for better quality before he puts something out in the world, and Dan was really pushing for the just ship it. So go ahead, continue with the memes.
Yeah. So mid-wit meme, Dan, ship it. Exercise left to the reader. Dan again, Job's law, corollary to Godwin's law. As an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving a software founder building their product like the iPod approaches 1. And this was another response to another Johnny Mac, build something great, shipped it, and talked to customers, comparing the iPod to, I don't even know what the Zune.
I don't even know what that Zune is. Yeah, some kind of MP3 player.
An MP3 player that
some kind of MP3 player. Yeah, that did not do anything anywhere in the world. So basically, the back and forth of what do you think about, like, the take on this as well? Go ahead, continue.
Continuing with Ferraris. Remember, kids, model your approach to building zero marginal cost software off of an artisanal car manufacturer that had to sell 50% of itself to Fiat to avoid bankruptcy. So this is the right, again, a response to Johnny Mac again, saying a Ferrari is something great, and sure, Ferraris are great, except it's not software.
Yeah,
sure, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. Nonlinear has great design sense. We all know it.
Yeah.
And
I think that's where he's coming from, is from the design of it all, and wanting to have, like, something have a great look and feel as well as work, and not wanting to put things out there without that aspect of it, which I can understand from his perspective.
Okay. So, the ship something fast and iterate, right? And it's really good advice. It's very hard to say it's bad advice. Trying to collapse all startup founder company advice, like business advice, down to one thing is going to get yourself into trouble.
This is really funny. So Crispy is in our, I think it's NFT Thinker, is in our chat on YouTube, saying that Zoom was so funny because it was Microsoft's answer to the iPod. It was the iPod killer, or not so much. So that's interesting as well. So look, let's I think that, I think we're going to see this argument pop up every once in a while. We see it pop up every once in a while. And I do think that for us, it's like, just keep going, iterate, and carry on is the only way to go. Okay, moving on.
To me, I mean, the way I summarize everything is you have to, if you, unless you can predict the future exactly, which you can't, unless you know exactly what your customers want to do and how they're going to purchase and how they're going to use, which you can't. It's all about like, how fast can you learn something,
right? And
what is your speed to learning, and knowing. So whatever that looks like for whatever you're building, and for sure, if you're doing software, for sure, and the world of B2, like, consumer products are very different than B2B and enterprise, which is my background. content very different than software, very different than physical products in the world. So
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't, it's very hard to compare a lot of these things
and
because
if you're
you
July trying to build,
you're yeah, exactly. I was
you're
going to say.
July trying to build, you know, something on a 30-year timeline, or Elon building rockets on a 30, like it's a completely different game, and you're going to need different advice and different playbooks.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it just depends. It depends on the level of risk, all of those kinds of things. All right, moving on.
The internet doesn't like it depends and nuance.
Yeah. Yeah, it does not like nuance and gray areas. All right. What else we got, Adrienne?
And I
We're
guess
really
we'll go
off
cast.
today. If you're just joining us, we're usually a little bit more on the game. We've had technical issues this morning. So
It's technical issues. We started 10 minutes late, so maybe we'll finish 10
speaking
minutes
of the shitty
late.
version. Speaking of the shitty version.
I'm not used to driving the links, which I'm not used to doing on my
Ivy
tiny
said,
laptop
who will be
screen.
showing up in a Ferrari to FarCon next year? Not me.
Not
Definitely
me.
not me. And also, she mentioned, is Iggy on Farcaster yet? I don't think Iggy Azalea has made it over to Farcaster yet. But yeah, we will not have Iggy Azalea on GM Farcaster this week. However, we will have another celebrity. It's very exciting, which we're going to leave you in suspense for another couple minutes while we finish up the news. What else we got, Adrienne?
All right, from Sammy Huber. If I need to follow first, I'll not use your frame. By the way, period.
Good advice.
I take thanks for letting me know beforehand. Make a good frame and ask at the end if you want to ask, please. Don't negatively impact user experience. Oh, that's actually interesting. So he's saying, let me use your frame and then ask nicely for me to follow. Some people will say you must follow first. I'm going to disagree. If I know what the frame's going to do and it's valuable to me and you're asking for a follow, I'm happy to follow. I don't like the follow first and you don't know what the frame's going to do. I will never follow for that. But I did something recently, which was like, listen, you can unfollow if you don't like, but there's a lot of devs doing things, and I'm happy to give them a little follow.
You're so nice. You're nice like that. This was a fun
really
frame. This is
so
a fun frame.
DGen fans. Yes. So DGen fans put out a My First Cast frame. I don't know if you have to follow DGen fans to use it. I forget. Anyone know?
I don't think so. Okay. I don't remember that. Yeah, we should have put these next to each other. You probably are.
You're right. I'm not. See, look.
Oh, you're not. There you go.
DGen fans just earned to follow because you didn't even ask. Okay.
So what was your first?
This is my first cast. November 21st, 2022. I casted about a 3-minute film about a dancing crow in a post-apocalyptic world. Won an award at the Cannes Short Film Festival this year. It was created by AI. So that
was the reason.
If you can believe it, it was like when ChatGPT was first being announced. And
that's right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then. And mine was a GM in Noggles, but we can't bring it up right now. And it also, I was talking about the NFT feed. And how much I liked it, which we don't have anymore. Yes, there was a NFT feed, so you could see what people were minting, and you could look through that feed and find trends and things like that. And I really liked it. So it was one of the things that kept me coming back for a while. So and the and of course the Noggle like button. Someone bring it back. This was important too. A little alert. If you want to give that a read from Proxystudio.
From category scam, project, caster chain, tags, farming, quotecast. Notes. Seeing this in my timeline and something fishy is going on. Caster Rank is a project built by Ryan in collaboration with FBI and Proxy. Not sure why this caster chain project is making reference to it here, but it's a big red flag. Yeah. And
so there was a lot of back and forth with this project. So just beware and know that the two are not, they're mentioning caster rank and it's not related to this project. So just keep that in mind. Caster chain and caster rank are two different things. So it felt like they were playing off of their goodwill.
Caster chain did respond saying caster chain, caster scan, and caster rank are building in the same direction. Stop the hate and do your own research. Okay, well,
it went on and on.
Later. It went on, but
It went
we're
on.
in a permissionless world. There's lots of
Yeah.
brands that are permissionless, but I think be careful out there.
Yeah,
And
be careful out there for sure.
You know,
Be careful out there
and from a branding perspective, like everyone's got something with Farcaster,
with cast in it.
casting, build in your name. Like they're not all the
exactly.
same. So there's only one
Exactly.
GM Farcaster. Oh, we're back to Dan dishing out startup advice. I think this was,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
at the end of the day,
I think we can end there.
even though we
Yeah.
said reduce
Yeah.
all startup advice to what did you get done this week?
Exactly. Exactly. So we do have a couple of cast out things that I want to do. So I'm gonna move you over here. So speaking of just do, we're just doing a crazy version of Survivor. So called cast out, and that's what is in my background again today. And today you get to hear about this morning. This is when we preview the next challenge. So I'm going to share this as the first time Adrienne's seeing this, and then I'll answer a couple questions and also I do want to share the cast out confessionals. I'm going to just show them briefly. I'm not going to show them all, but they're pretty funny. So, but first, this. GM Farcaster's Onchain Summer has kicked off with Cast Out. 16 players will try to outwit, outplay, and outcast for a chance to win 100,000 DGen. Players will start in 2 tribes, Mole and Wowow. And today brings us the halving, and both tribes will be voting out players after this challenge. Each player will compete on the CastOut Farcaster Arch Speedtracer track. This is both a team and individual challenge. The best player from each tribe will earn immunity, and the tribe with the player at the top of the CastOut leaderboard will earn an advantage for their tribe and vote out 1 fewer player. Top player will also receive 5,000 DGen from the CastOut.eth prize wallet. A couple rules. Players may only mint their scores twice, and players must complete the challenge themselves, no ringers or bots. If you're not a CastOut player, you can still play along. Back your favorite player on bracket.game. If you have a GM Farcaster Hypersub token, you can claim free packs or pick up some shares at bracket.game. See the CastOut channel for more info. Plus, everyone can play along on Speedtracer with a 5,000 DGen prize for those at the top of both the Global and Farcaster OG leaderboards. Are you ready, Anon? Let's outwit, outplay, and outcast this on-chain summer with CastOut. And thank you to our premier partner, Pinata, sponsor of both GM Farcaster and CastOut. All right. So the next challenge, this is going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. So we have a custom Speedtracer track that, thank you, Sammy, who's the founder of Speedtracer, created for us, that is in the shape of a Farcaster arch with the cast out background. And there's going to be a cast out leaderboard. So only the players will be in that particular leaderboard, but there's multiple other leaderboards. He's now integrated Farcaster in there. So there's a Farcaster OG leaderboard, as well as a leaderboard for anyone who, I think it's who you are following or is following you. I can't remember which. It's one or the other. So it says following. And then there's also a global leaderboard. So global leaderboard and the Farcaster OG leaderboard, if you're at the top of that, regardless of whether or not you're a player, you can win 5,000 DGen. So
I love that you're inviting everyone to play.
Yeah, I want everybody to play. It's going to be fun. But I just needed a way. So he's creating this special leaderboard so I could just be able to track you all as well. So the players have all been sent enough ETH to mint twice. So check your wallets and you'll be able to only mint. You can only mint twice. Minting puts you on the leaderboard. So when you mint your race and you feel like, okay, I've got a good time, I'm going to mint this, then you're on the leaderboard. And whoever's at the top of the leaderboard from each tribe, there can be one from each tribe, will have immunity. And whoever's at the top, whichever tribe that person is in, they will have to vote out fewer people because this is the halving. So we're voting out half the players today or tomorrow. So there you go. Go ahead. Questions from player Adrienne.
Okay, wait, remind me,
Mole.
what is the timing? Mole. Okay, what is the time? When does the game start?
The game starts at noon, officially at noon today, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. And the leaderboard, I will check the leaderboard at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. And that will be the final decision
Okay.
will be made on that. So yeah, it's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. So it's going to be fun. And we do have also and I'm just going to show these briefly, but I'm not going to actually show them because it would take too long. But we have some confessionals that have been happening as well. And they are very fun. And whoever gets the most likes in their confessionals will be also winning an extra vote for tomorrow, or to be used up through when there's 5 people in the challenge still left in the game. So very soon we're going to be down to 7 people by the end of this week, and then we'll be down even further fairly quickly. So this is going to end the last week of June. So this was the challenge that I gave everybody. And then we've had a few come through, like this from Adrienne. Go take a peek at it. We don't have time to watch it all, but nice little black and white vibes. And then we had this one from Kristen. I should have showed this last. This was crazy and amazing. And she did a whole Roaring Kitty cosplay take. And we had this from Ted, who had her own producer questioning, and she killed it with the Survivor vibe. And Adrienne, did I lose you completely? Because you're gone from the screen. This is perfect. Honestly, it's perfect. It's a great way to end the show today.
I don't know if you've lost me.
I can hear you now. I'll say that again. It's perfect. It's kind of perfect way to end the show. We've started with technical issues. We're going to end with technical issues. So with that, we're going to end it. I'm going to go with the closing credits, and we will see you Wednesday. By the way, Wednesday, we have a very special guest. We have the Polymarket intern coming on Wednesday to be our co-host at 8:30 a.m. Tomorrow, we'll be back with the CastOut edition at noon with TLDR and Jace. And until then, bye-bye.